You know what day of the week it is. Scary Sunday it is. Next up we got Absolute Mad Lab's KillDozer. Somebody requested this video. Yeah, you feel me? Count Dankula. Count Dankula, my guy. Hey, you feel me? My guy, story time. Y'all love these story time videos. We'll keep coming, you know what I'm saying? Keep coming with the content. Let's see what it is. Time.
You're going to know how intent I was on teaching you people that what you're doing is wrong. And maybe that's all that needs to be done to stop you from the greed you have, the hate you have, the anger, malice towards outsiders. I think God will bless me to get the machine done, to drive it, to do the stuff that I have to do. I am the co-captain of my life. God is first, I am second. Okay? This is where He's taken me. You have tried to control my life. You have tried to be the captain of my life. You do not run my life. You do not determine my income. You do not determine what I desire, what I want, what I deserve. I determine that, and my God determines that, not you people. So I'm trying to be as prepared as I can be to do what I believe needs to be done.
Okay.
Marvin Heemeyer was your average everyday American living in Granby, Colorado. He worked hard as a welder in his muffler repair shop so that he could put food on the table and live a good life. His friends all described him as a very likeable person, and his own brother said that he was the type of guy who would bend over backwards to help people out. In 1992, Marvin purchased 2 acres of land for $42,000 so that he could build his muffler shop, which he did. He was then approached by the Dochev family, who wanted to buy his land from him so that they could build a concrete plant, and they offered him $250,000 for the land. Heemeyer went back and forth with the Dochev family, and Heemeyer kept increasing the price to try and see if he could get more money, until eventually the deal completely fell through, so the Dochev sought to have the land around Marvin's muffler shop rezoned so that they could build their concrete plant. Marvin was included in the rezoning discussion at the very start of the process so that he could make sure his interests were protected, but regardless of anything that Marvin said, the rezoning application was granted anyway. What Marvin didn't know is that the piece of land that got chosen to build the concrete plant was a piece of land just adjacent to his muffler shop that he and his customers actually used to access the shop. Marvin petitioned to the zoning commission again so that the concrete plant couldn't be built there. However, despite several petitions, all of them were rejected, and construction of the concrete plant went ahead anyway, essentially blocking off access to Marvin's shop. Marvin then decided that he would use another bit of land next to his shop to build a road so that people could actually access his shop. So he went about buying all the materials that he would need, such as asphalt, concrete, shovels, tools, materials, and a bulldozer. Once Marvin had got all the materials that he needed to construct the road, he then petitioned to the city for permission to build the road so that people could actually access his shop. The city refused his request, meaning there was no easy way for customers or even himself to access his shop, so his business was now at risk. To make matters even worse, Marvin's water and sewer lines were actually running under the piece of land that the concrete plant was being built on. So during construction of the concrete plant, Marvin's sewer lines and water lines were cut off, so his muffler shop didn't have any running water or sewage connection for months. Marvin was then fined $2,500 for not being connected to the sewer line, even though it wasn't his fault. Marvin tried to fix this by petitioning to have his old sewer line connected again because it was still there, under the ground. The only problem was it was under the ground on the concrete plant's property, and they refused to give Marvin permission to connect his own sewer line. Despite all of Marvin's activism, the signatures he collected, the letters that he wrote, the meetings he attended, all the government bodies that he contacted, the council, the zoning commission, and the concrete plant all just stopped listening to him and replying to him completely, and just abandoned him to his unfair fate. Marvin felt the entire world was against him, and it would really seem so, because some of the stuff that happened to him was so extreme that a lot of people to this day still believe that there was a lot of shady dealings going on between the concrete plant and the city council, and Marvin even seemed to believe this himself. So Marvin decided to start working on a new project. He took the old bulldozer that he bought to build that road, he gathered up all of his welding skills, and he got to work. His plan was to turn the bulldozer
Bro, why you
into
say it
an
like that?
unstoppable and impenetrable to build that road. He gathered up all of his welding skills, and he got to work. His plan was to turn the bulldozer into an unstoppable and impenetrable fortress with all of the bells and whistles. Some serious planning went into this contraption. The bulldozer model was a Komatsu D355A, and what Marvin set out to do first was create an armour sarcophagus that would cover the cabin, the engine, and part of the tracks. This was made out of composite armour that was made by pouring concrete in between thick metal plates, and in some places this armour was 12 inches thick. So that Marvin could actually see where he was going, he mounted several cameras on the outside of the armour, and each of these cameras was protected with 3 inches of bulletproof plastic. And all of the cameras were rigged up to 2 monitors that Marvin had installed.
What is going on here, bro? Bro, I have no word. I literally have no words. Is this the actual picture? This might be the actual picture, bro. What the fuck? Yo, what is happening? Like, I don't...
Installed in the dashboard of the bulldozer. Marvin even thought so far ahead as to install compressed air nozzles next to the cameras so that they could blow away any dust and debris that would fall onto the cameras to make sure his vision was never blocked.
Dang,
Marvin
that's
even
smart as
installed
hell.
onboard fans and an air conditioner to make sure that the cabin would stay nice and cool. He also installed 3 gun ports. One of them was for a 50 cal rifle, another was for a 308 semi-automatic rifle, and the other one was for a 22 LR rifle, and each of these gun ports was protected by 1.5 inch thick steel plates. Marvin documented the construction of the bulldozer by making audio recordings throughout the entire process. The way Marvin had constructed the armour sarcophagus was so that it could be lowered down onto the bulldozer by a crane that he had also built himself inside his shop, but he constructed it in such a way that once the sarcophagus was placed over the bulldozer and the crane was disengaged, that was it. There was absolutely no way for Marvin to get out, but it also meant there was no way for anybody else to get in. It took him around 1.5 years to build it.
Oh my god.
But it was never noticed, and Marvin never got caught. Despite the fact that people had actually visited his shop and seen the machine and all the materials that he was using to build it. Marvin apparently believed that God clouded their judgment to protect him. Marvin during this period was still trying to get the council and other people to listen to him, but none of them would. And 2004 was shaping up to be an awful year for Marvin. His business was in ruins, so he sold his land to a trash company and he was given 6 months to vacate. His father passed away, and he broke off his engagement because he caught his woman banging another man. Marvin had quite simply had enough. And so, on the 4th of June 2004, Marvin wrote down a list of names of all of the people in the town who had wronged him. He hopped in his bulldozer, lowered the sarcophagus, disengaged the crane, and fired up the engine. Showtime.
What the f- Oh my god! Bro, talk about a menace to society! Yo! You are a psychopath! Psychopath! Oh my god! What the fuck is wrong with this nigga?
And so began the KillDozer rampage. Marvin just smashed through the wall of his own shop to get outside, and then started driving around Granby, destroying the businesses and properties of everyone who had ever wronged him. The main places he destroyed were the concrete plant, obviously, the town hall, a utility centre, the offices of a newspaper that had lied about him. I can relate. The home of a former mayor's widow and a hardware store, as well as several other properties that belonged to people that had been against him. To cause further damage, Marvin also used the guns that he had installed in the KillDozer to shoot at propane tanks and electrical transformers. During the rampage, Cody Dochev of the Dochev family that owned the concrete plant tried to face Marvin head on in a tractor scraper, but Marvin and his KillDozer just simply pushed him out the way. Naturally, the cops turned up and they were completely armed to the teeth and they were just opening fire on the KillDozer, but the KillDozer was completely impervious to small arms fire, so the cops' guns did absolutely nothing. A SWAT team followed closely behind the KillDozer, firing at anything that they thought could possibly be an opening to the inside. At one point, they even managed to throw a flashbang grenade down the exhaust port of the KillDozer, but this had absolutely no effect. Undersheriff Glenn Traynor even managed to climb on top of the KillDozer while it was moving to try and find an opening so that he could fire a bullet inside, but he ended up having to jump off for his own safety because he was at risk of being hit with rubble and debris. The situation was looking pretty bleak. Nothing the cops did could slow this thing down. So Governor Bill
I wonder if he killed somebody doing this shit.
Actually considered contacting the National Guard to get them to fly in with an Apache helicopter to take out the KillDozer with Hellfire missiles, or at the very least take it out with a Javelin anti-tank missile. These plans were abandoned because it was decided that using military-grade heavy weaponry in a small Colorado town was probably bad optics. However, it all came to an end. When Marvin was destroying a hardware store, the tracks on one side of the KillDozer actually broke through the floor.
Look at this nigga, bro. Like, my question is, you're doing, like, what are you thinking about when you're doing this? Like, oh, kill, destroy, burn, kill, destroy. Like, you have to literally be, like, in a state of mind of just destruction and just, like, oh my god, bro. Like, talk about a menace society, bro. You are a menace.
The radiator was also
hazard to the nation, bro.
And the whole machine was starting to break down. So Marvin was stuck, and the SWAT team surrounded
he got stuck. Oh, he got stuck. No, he got stuck.
Marvin was destroying a hardware store. The tracks on one side of the KillDozer actually broke through the floor into the basement.
What a dumbass.
And the KillDozer got stuck. The radiator was also heavily damaged and leaking fluid, and the whole machine was starting to break down. So Marvin was stuck, and the SWAT team surrounded the KillDozer. The SWAT team then said that they heard a single gunshot coming from inside the KillDozer.
He killed himself?
Because Marvin, realising that he was stuck and that there was no way out, reached for a handgun that he had with him inside the KillDozer and took the easy way out. So it finally came to an end after Marvin and his KillDozer caused $7 million worth of damage. The cops tried to get inside the KillDozer using explosives, but after the third failed attempt, they decided to finally cut through using an oxyacetylene torch, and eventually, after many hours, they managed to get inside the KillDozer and retrieve Marvin's body.
$7 million.
In 2005, the town council announced that it was going to scrap the KillDozer, but all of the parts were going to be sent to various scrapyards all the way around the US to prevent people from stealing them as souvenirs. After the rampage, a lot of people vilified Marvin and branded him as a lunatic. But other people ended up revering him, saying that he was a man that fought back against the state who had completely screwed him over. Because despite the extent of the KillDozer rampage, no one died.
Ah.
Now, whether it's a case of Marvin was going out of his way to make sure he didn't kill anyone, or if it was just blind luck that no one got killed, who knows? But this just goes to show that anyone, even someone like Marvin, has a breaking point. And it seemed that the government found out the hard way what happens when you mess with someone too much.
$7 million. Okay, buddy.
It's Count Dankula on YouTube.
This nigga right here. Bro, somebody come get that bass, bro. What the fuck? Hey, man. Y'all like, comment, subscribe. Comment on me yet to next, man. Follow me on Instagram. That's where I'm most active at. We on the grind to 1K, man. I'm out.